What is good, YouTube? This your boy Aaron,
It's Brian.
and this is the Courtside View Podcast, and we are back today to react to NFL Week 2. And I ain't gonna lie, this was one of the most unpredictable NFL weeks that I can remember because I was wrong about a lot of games. I went 7 for 9 for my picks on Week 2, which is, as you know, is below 500, which is absolutely terrible. I'm glad I didn't bet on the games because I would have lost a lot of money. Yeah, it was one of them weeks where everybody was wrong, and I was extremely wrong about this one. And I'm a little bit frustrated, but overall, I'm not too frustrated because I'm glad I was wrong about the Cowboys. How you feeling, Brian? How you feeling about this past week?
Um, as outside of my predictions and my Cowboys doing what they did, you know, it went pretty well. The
Mm,
hate watchers were successful this week because the 49ers lost, the Lions lost, and the Eagles lost. And I went 3-0 in fantasy this week.
mm.
Can't complain. Can't complain. And got the bonus win. Can't complain.
I see you didn't mention your Cowboys. What's going on
The
with them
who?
boys? Oh, here we go. He trying to
Uh,
deflect. I see you. I'm not gonna
we'll get into them later.
I'm not gonna I'm not gonna provoke you. So we'll get on to them later. But without further ado, let's get into reacting to the games. I want to start off with let's go with the Sunday night game. Let's go with the most intriguing game, in my opinion, which is the Bears versus the Texans. Where you have the 2023 former first round pick, number 2 overall pick, and CJ Stroud, also the rookie of the year. And then you bring in the 2024 first pick in the NFL draft, Caleb Williams, who a lot of scouts and a lot of media people proclaimed him as a generational talent. And he goes up against the Texans, against CJ Stroud, and he lays an egg. He looks awful. He looks worse than week 1, where he only had 93 yards.
I don't know about that.
No, 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 no. He was worse. He was worse. I'm telling you
I
that
don't
right
know
now.
about
He
that.
was worse. He was worse. Because this game, he threw 2 picks. He was trying to play hero ball at the end. He was worse. I'm telling you that right now. Don't get me wrong. He did miss a bunch of throws in week 1, but he didn't put the ball in harm's way like today, like that game. I'm just telling you that right now. But we don't need to argue about that. Just your reaction, Brian, to just Caleb Williams pretty much struggling throughout the entirety of the game, and also other stuff that you noticed with the Chicago Bears and the Texans.
Okay, so first thing I noticed, that offensive line was way worse than I thought it was going to be. That was an embarrassing performance. I literally saw Darnell Wright, who's the right tackle, hitting the genuine in the middle of the play. I think Daniil Hunter hit him with a little quick little jab step, and he get his leg he doing a stanky leg over there. I'm like, oh my goodness, how is the new QB supposed to perform behind this line? I mean, seriously. And it's like I believe I saw a stat. I think they said Daniil Hunter and Will Anderson combined for like 30 something pressures. That is insanity. Because QBs, you get what about how many drawbacks you get as a QB? About 30 something? 40?
I don't know.
And he getting pressured over like 30 something times. Are you kidding me? That's insanity to me. I'm sorry. And I'm not blaming this. Caleb didn't play particularly well, but I mean, what do you want him to do? This the same thing Justin Fields had to go through. Then on the plays where on the times where he could make a play, get in the red zone, hit an open guy, Romo Dunze dropped the ball. So I mean, like I'm not really understanding. And the Bears defense can only do so much. You got all this talent on the Texans. You got to watch and uncover. And shoot, the pass rush wasn't getting home. So I don't know, man. It's just what can you do at this point? Caleb he's missing Keenan now. I didn't even know. I didn't expect Rome to play this week, but yeah, the run game. The Bears run game non-existent. it was just bad. It was DJ Moore and Caleb out there pretty much. Cole Kmet was nowhere to be found. I haven't seen him since the season started. Can't run the ball. The play calling was Shane Waldron. Listen, the Seahawks fans was right. This man is no, just no. The play calls was uninspiring. Some of the routes I'm looking at, I'm just like, what was he supposed to do right here? Like, I don't understand what was going on. Like, we should have known something was wrong with Shane Waldron when he made JSN look like an average receiver. Now look at JSN now.
Great week. He had
Yeah,
a great week.
it's
He
just
balled
it's
out.
just can we please get the coordinators right? I mean, the blueprint is so simple. Go contact, hit up Shannon, hit up the 49. Hey, let me get one of them, I don't know, whoever the scheme coordinator. Let me just borrow him. Let me bring him in for an interview. Why are we going up and getting these reject coaches? When the Shanahan tree has literally been the answer for years, and teams are still wanting to go with these dudes. Just they have experience. Experience of what? The Seahawks let him walk. Just let him walk. It was okay. We good. We're gonna roll with who the Seahawks new offensive coordinator is.
From he was the OC from Washington.
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah.
See, they just bringing new minds in like this. I don't know, man. It's just Caleb pretty much going through the same thing Justin Fields did. You seen that screenshot or video where they both had their heads like this at the end
Mm-hmm.
of the game. I mean, I mean, I can't blame this on Caleb. What can you really do in this situation? He ain't played great. He at least tried to make a play. It was at one play Daniil Hunter beat the brakes off Darnell Wright. He scrambles out the pocket. He escapes the sack, actually. Scrambles out the pocket. Then he threw a pick. Granted, he technically could have made the throw, but it was three dudes over there. So I'm like, ugh. At least you're trying to make a play. I don't know, but dang, it's just tough out there. I don't. What you think about the game, man? Texas
um
played a great game though.
that defense was lights out. They did what they were supposed to do against a rookie QB, a team with a suspect offensive line. They did exactly what they were supposed to. CJ Stroud didn't put the ball in harm's way. He managed the game throughout. He listen, whatever the game dictated, CJ Stroud did it. That's what you're supposed to do as a QB. He realized that this is not going to be a shootout. So I don't need to try to be aggressive, put the ball in harm's way, try to get a bunch of points scored. No, just make sure that I manage the game. Let's get the run game going, and we'll win the game because the defense is hooping right now. My thing with Caleb is, I mean, he still has accuracy issues. It's not all on him. He has a lot to overcome. This is the same thing that transpired with Justin Fields. He had so much to overcome. The offensive line, the play calling was not good. The head coach being a defensive mind. There's just so much that he has to overcome, so much that he has to do in order to be considered a really, really good QB and to live up to expectations. The fact that they didn't address the offensive line in offseason is really hurting them right now, going with Romo Dunze instead of a really, really good offensive line prospect. I mean, it was loaded this past draft, and they decided to go with Rome. I like Rome, but again, I said it before and I say it again. There's only two quality good offensive linemen on the Bears, and even they were having trouble holding up against um, Daniil Hunter and Will Anderson. Oh my God, Will Anderson, he was cooking out there too. It was just a coloss, and then Mario Edwards as well. So like those three people were just wrecking havoc throughout the game for the Texans, and the offensive line of Chicago Bears couldn't do much about it. Shane Waldron, he was calling all these different plays, all these plays that require Caleb Williams to stand in the pocket for a pretty long time. But guess what? Your offensive line can't hold up for that amount of time. When it gets to around 2 seconds, Daniil Hunter, Will Anderson, Mario Edwards, they're already there. So I don't understand some of the play calling. The run plays, you got to switch it up. Like it was the same type of run plays out of the shotgun, pistol. It just wasn't working for DeAndre Swift. Khalil Herbert wasn't doing much. And that was pretty much it. Romo Dunze, you got to catch that ball. I know it was a bit of a difficult pass in the red zone, but it hit your hands. You could have still caught it. They drafted you number 9 for a reason because they expect you to make those wild plays, something like that. We expect you to make that play. And I also feel for DJ Moore because I can see he's very frustrated. He was looking at the backup QB. He said something to backup QB, and yeah, it looked like he was ready to fight. He wanted to fight Caleb Williams after that throw. So yeah, it's a work in progress. Caleb Williams is a young QB. They're just gonna have to figure it out. He's just gonna have to figure it out. I believe he'll get better from this, but boy, was it ugly. It was a very, very ugly contest. And yeah, rookie, listen, don't matter how talented you are, being called a generational prospect, you gotta prove it on the football field. Just because people say this doesn't mean that it will translate into the league. Just look at Trevor Lawrence right now. Same thing. It hasn't translated. And we're going to talk about him a little bit later because I saw the all 22 on him. And boy, oh boy, I can't wait to analyze what the hell I saw from him because it was atrocious. But yeah, this game, CJ Stroud just continues to just prove to me just how rare of a talent that he is, how rare of a skill set that he already has at the age of like, what is he, 22, 23 right now? The dude is young and he's already like have the talent, have the skill set of an elite QB. It's ridiculous. Like his rookie season, we should give more love to his rookie season and just the simple fact that he was able to just process everything and develop so quickly in that 1 year to where he's playing like a 10-year veteran. He's playing like a top 5 QB. I think in one of our QB tier lists, I had him at one point as he's him. That's how good he was at one point in the season. And by the end of the season, I put him at he's a dude. The CJ Stroud is a baller, and that one throw he made to Nico Collins towards the sideline was a wild play. I was like, wow, like just he does this every game where he just makes one spectacular throw out of another just to reinforce the fact that he's one of the best QBs in the NFL. He's a top 10 QB, and he is the future of the NFL. And the Texans, they got themselves a dude. They got themselves a baller, and I expect big things from the Texans. That's why I picked them to win the division. And yeah, that's all I can really say for the Bears. It's just going to be a work in progress with Caleb, and they're just going to have to figure it out. And with the Texans, they got themselves a squad. They're loaded.
Look at these. Look at these. I'm going to read off some numbers for you. I misspoke about the pressures, but Will Anderson, the total Texans pressure by player versus the Bears. Will Anderson, 7 pressures. Daniil Hunter, 7 pressures. Aziz Al-Shahir, 5 pressures. Mario Edwards, 4. Henry To'o, 2 pressures. Khalil Davis, 2 pressures. Tim Settle, 2 pressures. 2, 2, and 1. Everyone was getting pressure. This like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's 10 dudes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, come on, man. What are we doing? And listen, I know as the Bears organization, you get a QB, you want to double up and get him a weapon. But would it have killed them to pick a lineman? They were on the board.
They got that dude from I think from Penn State. Could have selected him. Yeah. Could have selected him maybe. Would have been good. I think he was a left tackle. He would have fit right in. Instead of having Nate Davis as your left tackle, trying to defend the best pass rushers. He was getting bullied out there. He was getting pushed around. What I tell you about that center and the right guard, them dudes, brother, like they're just getting cooked out there.
Even Darnell Wright was looking shaky out there.
He was. Remember, I don't know if you saw the play where I think it may have been Will Anderson hit him with a juke, cooked him, and then I think he sacked Caleb Williams. Like, yeah, it was a rough night. I ain't gonna hold you. Like, I haven't seen those many violent hits in a while. It was crazy. I was like, what? No flag? I thought we was in a new NFL. They was hit sticking the hell out of the Bears that Sunday night. Caleb Williams, boy, this was college football 25. Severe everywhere. Severe arms, legs, chest, you name it. I know when he woke up in the morning, he was feeling it. He was sore all over because boy, he was getting just whew, it was just ugly out there.
Yeah,
They need to figure something out because I don't want to see that again.
they gotta do something. They're going to bring some extra tight ends on the field, help with the blocking on the edges. Something they got to do something, man.
Bro, he literally will not be able to survive like this if he keeps getting hit like that. Like we've seen QBs, we've seen the Joe Burrows, we've seen the Andrew Lucks, we've seen all these different QBs continuously getting hit over and over and over and eventually get injured. They
Yep.
have to do something about it because what I saw against the Texans, dog, that was a murder. That was a crime scene right there because what they were doing, Jalen Petrie, all these dudes, they were just out there wrecking havoc, just bullying everybody on the Bears. And Caleb Williams was running for his life. It was just sad. It was really sad to see. And I just don't wish that from them. Even, I know they're an enemy to my team, but at the end of the day, I don't want to see Caleb getting hurt like that. My God. That was a ugh. All right. I want to we should have started off the show with this, but Bryce Young yesterday it's announced that he has been benched
I thought
for
that was
Andy
today.
Dalton. No, I think it was
Oh, that was
yesterday.
yesterday.
Yeah,
Oh,
it was yesterday.
oh yeah, it
Yeah.
was yesterday. It was.
So Bryce Young is now on the bench, and I have to say this: the Panthers have failed Bryce Young. I thought that this was going to be a better situation for Bryce Young. Turns out it's not. I saw the film. I saw the all 22. Um, yeah, Bryce Young is it's not looking too good. That interception that he threw off rip, the play call was horrible. It was like two post routes. The two receivers, they looked like they were about to bump into each other, and then you had two curl routes on the
It was like it
outside.
was like it was like two digs and curls. I'm like, okay, I don't know what's going on here.
It was just like, yo, that just the play call was bad. But then what's even worse is that Caleb, he was staring down his receiver,
You mean
staring
Bryce?
down Deontay Johnson. Oh, I said Caleb. Well, I mean, they both were doing some pretty awful stuff. But Bryce Young, he was staring down Deontay Johnson, and he tried to throw with anticipation. It did not work, and it got picked off. And the problem is that when you keep staring down your receiver, guess what? The safety notices he's looking at you, and he's like, "Oh, that's where you're gonna throw? Bet I'm gonna jump this route." And that's what he did. There's just so many different factors about that play. Number one, Deontay Johnson. Well, you notice when he cut, he started accelerating. I was like, damn, like
Mm-hmm.
that's kind of weird because I was looking at Adam Thielen and he didn't decelerate. It's like, okay, I mean he's slow, but he still looked fluid in his route. I'm like, okay, that's kind of weird. So you could say, well, if Deontay Johnson didn't decelerate, then maybe that's still a bad read. At the end of the day, you can't be staring down your receiver and expect that everything is going to go well in that scenario. Like he shouldn't have stared down his receiver. He should have went to the other read, and ultimately got picked off. Bryce Young, it's just not. It just doesn't look well. It just doesn't look well. I think part of it is Dave Canales. The play calling is not that good. Like some of these routes, they were pretty well covered by who they play. Who did
The
they play?
Chargers.
The Chargers. Yeah, they did a good job covering. Like I was watching and I was like, the secondary is doing a really good job, just pretty much covering everything. And Bryce Young, he had a tough time trying to figure out where to throw. So a part of it is the play calling, but ultimately Bryce Young, he just wasn't that good. There was moments I remember there was one play where I think the pass rush came, and Bryce Young, all he had to do was step up in the pocket, and he would have been able to deliver to his second read, but he didn't do that. He just decided to roll out to the left. And guess what happened? Like, he wasn't able to throw it to anybody. He threw it out of bounds. Like, it's just simple stuff like that where a good quarterback would understand, like, all right, first read's not there, but hey, here's my second read. And I'm looking and I see the second read is about to get open. Let me step up in the pocket and deliver it. But he didn't do that. And these are just some of the simple things that it just feels like he's not comfortable with right now. And I understand why Dave Canales elected to bench him, because he just hasn't played well. I just feel bad for him because he's just not in a good situation. Frank Wright got fired. He wasn't good for Bryce Young. He didn't even want him there. The owner, he's just dysfunctional as it is, having your wife in the meeting with the coach and all of the people that know football. Like, what? It's just a complete mess right now. And I don't know, man. I really don't. It's just a complete mess. What is your thoughts on the Carolina Panthers, Dave Canales benching Bryce Young and starting Andy Dalton?
As far as the benching goes, I don't really see much changing personally. I just think it's just a bad situation all around the Panthers are in. But as far as the Panthers mishandling Bryce Young and everything, there's something to be said about that. You draft him first overall last year, but you don't give him any help in the draft. You didn't have another first round pick. You didn't even have a second round pick, as far as I know. Um, you had the opportunity to trade Brian Burns for multiple picks at one point to the Rams. You passed that up just for him to leave anyway. Whatever. Then you fire the coach. Was it a midseason fire or from
Frank Wright, yep,
yeah,
yep.
midseason? You fire him midseason. Throw him to the Wolves. He ain't really having. Who did he have to learn behind? Really, I mean, then this year it's a new system, new scheme. Got new offensive coordinator. Dave Canales coming in, had high hopes for him, and then you play him for one series in the preseason, and then when he doesn't perform, surprisingly, in the first two games, you bench him. What? See, this what I'm talking about. These teams in these orgs, they just don't know how to handle these rookie QBs. It's absolutely ridiculous. Like, this shouldn't be such a common occurrence. Like, rookie QBs, they would bust back in the days, but it was like the rate is much higher now. Like, you look at you in the previous years, you had Sam Darnold, Trey Lance, Zach Wilson. Um, at one point, it was looking like Baker Mayfield was on that trajectory. And these orgs just consistently refuse and just fail to set up these rookie QBs in solid situations where they can actually develop as a player. Like, these kids coming out of college, fresh out of college, they're looking to save. They expected to save a franchise. And the way the league operates now, these teams don't give players in general enough time to even develop. If you don't produce, you pretty much you're out of there. And it's kind of shocking. Like, these teams aren't ran like football teams. They're ran like businesses. A lot of these owners are business minded. They just want the quickest return on their investment. And that's how you end up with the situations like the Panthers. You end up situated like the Broncos, all these other teams out here, the Raiders. It's just sad. I feel bad for Bryce Young because, like, if you looked at his film in college, the man could play. He could play point blank. I don't want to hear what anybody say. People pretending that he just was never good all of a sudden. Forget all that. He won a Heisman, and he would have beat Georgia if Jameson Williams and John Mechie ain't here. And this is coming from a Georgia fan. And then the next year, he still played good. Even, like, who did he have at wide receiver for that last year at Bama?
I think I forget. I know Jermaine Burton was still there. I don't recall Jameson. I think Jameson Williams may have gotten drafted already. Either he gotten drafted or he was there his final year.
He got drafted.
He got drafted. Okay, so I think he had Jermaine Burton. Like his receiving core wasn't all that talented as last year.
Exactly. And he was still producing. Alabama was still in it.
Hmm.
And I'm not going to sit up here and allow people to act like he could just never play. Something is going wrong organizationally, coaching wise, personnel wise. I mean, okay, you went out and got Deontay Johnson, you got Xavier Leggett in the draft, that's good, but your scheme isn't reflecting these acquisitions and putting them in situations and positions to succeed. So, I mean, what do you expect them to do? I don't think that they're going to look much better under Andy Dalton all of a sudden. It's just going to be, he may look slightly better. They may, instead of getting blown out, they may lose by only 7 points. But I mean, I don't know, man. It's just ridiculous
I like how
what
you
these
brought up.
players
Yeah,
got to go through.
I like how you brought up Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold, Zach Wilson. I like how you brought them up because they are perfect examples of going from a toxic environment to an environment where everything is not on their shoulders and they can play freely now and they can develop and they have people around them that are encouraging them and helping them become good solid quarterbacks. It's funny. It's funny how good coaching can change the trajectory of a QB. With Bryce Young, he's just another example of that. And man, it's just really sad. It really is. I hope nothing but the best for Bryce Young. I hope he can figure out a way to get around all of this and find a different destination and develop into a good quarterback, because right now this situation is just toxic. A lot of these owners, you know what they need to do? They need to go on Apple Music, play Kendrick Lamar Savior, because Kendrick Lamar clearly says they're not your saviors. The same thing is applied with these QBs. They're not your
Like
saviors.
think about it. Like it just from a logical aspect. Most QBs hit their prime at 30. Why are you expecting 22 and 23-year-olds fresh out of college to save your franchise? And then you don't put them in a good position. Like you can't give them trash ingredients and expect them to cook up a Michelin star meal. That's just not how it works. And that's never how it worked. Tom Brady was saying the same thing. So I don't even know what they want these kids to do at this point, man. I feel sorry for the up and coming QBs in these drafts, the Carson Becks, the Shadors, and all of them. Because as soon as you don't produce, they ready to just throw you off the ship. And just like, well, what did they have to work with?
Well, the good thing about the NFL nowadays is that they're giving these QBs second chances.
Mm.
That's the beauty of it. Normally, you wouldn't get a second chance. Normally, you would just be a backup. But now, teams are saying, "Okay, it didn't work out there, but we have a good situation. We have a good coaching staff. We have a good scheme. I bet if we put you in this offense, in this scheme, with this coaching, we'll develop you the right way. We'll show the world what you were supposed to be with that other team." I like
You
it.
want to know who's on a decent trajectory with that? Justin Fields. Like when you see him play in Pittsburgh, they don't put everything on his shoulders. Like he
No.
doesn't have to be Superman every game. He can go out there and have rather pedestrian numbers and still get wins and play comfortably.
He can manage the game.
Yeah, he doesn't have to put up 300 yards a game and have to throw the ball 40 times. He doesn't have to do that. They
Mhm.
don't. The Steelers saying, "Hey, listen, we don't want you to do this."
No. They keep it simple. Running game,
Defense.
defense. We'll give you these simple plays where you don't have to read a whole. It's not, you don't have to read a whole lot. It's not a bunch of option routes. It's just simple plays, simple football. not trying to make him overthink things. And if the offensive line breaks down, go ahead and scramble a couple times. Bryce Young, he doesn't have that situation. It's just hell. And it's just unfortunate. Let's go. Speaking of Justin Fields, I want to go to the Steelers versus the Broncos. I was actually just watching film of Justin Fields, and I was only able to watch the first half. But I will say about this, I am impressed with Justin Fields from the aspect that he's able to play winning football. He's able to manage the game, and whatever they need from him, he's delivering. Like he's not putting the ball in harm's way. He's not being inaccurate at all. Like he's been accurate for the most part. They're not throwing the ball down the field a whole lot, but he's still being accurate at the same time. Whatever they need from him, he's doing. Now, the offensive line for the Steelers is still a big question mark. I'm seeing, yeah, you go from the Chicago Bears and then you go to from the Steelers. It's not much difference between the offensive line. Maybe a slight bit of an upgrade, but not a whole lot. Here's my thing with Steelers, and I'm so glad that Mike Tomlin announced that Justin Fields will remain the starter because after what I saw from the All 22, Russell Wilson would have struggled very badly. He would have been a disaster because one thing about Justin Fields that not many players have is his ability to scramble, his speed, his elusivity, his ability to make something out of nothing. Russell Wilson used to have that, but that was
Yeah.
10 years ago. See, we're in 2024, and Russell Wilson, he's getting close to statue level. What is statue level? Kirk Cousins, Aaron Rodgers, yeah, Jared Goff, those type of QBs. He's getting very, very close. And guess what? He's 5'10". So yeah, I would start Justin Fields too, because if you have a suspect offensive line like the Steelers do, you're going to need somebody that can scramble, that can improvise, that can make something out of nothing. And Russell Wilson can't do that nowadays. So I'm glad that Mike Tomlin made the decision because it would have been completely worse. He was not going to be able to manage the game with the Steelers. He was going to make a bunch of mistakes. He was going to just not deliver the ball down the field. Just try to get the field goal range. He wasn't going to be able to do it because that's how bad this offensive line is. And the scheme is very simplistic, but you need somebody that can scramble, that can run, that can utilize their legs because ultimately that's going to be the requirement when it comes to the Steelers. And that's why Justin Fields is going to remain the starter. And I'm glad that he's getting this opportunity because originally, as we all know, it was supposed to be Russell Wilson as the starter, but he had an injury and football
honestly,
gods, they just said,
even
hey,
if you do run a scheme and you run it efficiently, when it's time to make a play, will Russ be able to do it? I don't think so.
no, I don't think he has it in him nowadays. Yeah, it's been a long time since he's been in Seattle. I just don't see that same Russell Wilson. He seems like at this stage of his career, let's be for real. Like he seems like one of the best backups in the NFL, or
Mm.
arguably the best backup in the NFL. But as a starter, it's just hard for me to really feel confident that Russell Wilson should be a starter for a franchise.
And let's just say hypothetically that Russ is an upgrade over Justin Fields. It's not a significant upgrade. So you might as well go with the younger QB that still has room to improve because Russ nowadays, like we've seen the best of Russ years ago. So honestly, your floor may be slightly higher with Russ, if that, but your ceiling is much higher if Justin Fields, if it clicks for him. And midseason form is a real thing. So Justin Fields could look way better week 9, 10. He could probably put up better numbers. Maybe they could push the ball down the field more when you build that continuity with these receivers.
Yeah, and it seems like the receiving core, the running backs, they seem to really like Justin Fields, and I would hate for that chemistry, for that camaraderie to just break that because of a promise you made during the offseason to a QB that is pretty much washed up.
that you signed for like $35.
Pennies on the dollar. It was just be wrong for him to do that. Bo Nix, he struggled a lot that game.
Yeah.
It was pretty bad. We don't really need to talk much about Bo Nix. All the rookie QBs have
Sean
struggled.
Payton, man, geez, Louise.
All the rookie QBs have pretty much struggled. They're trying to get Bo Nix involved, but he just can't. He just can't do it right now. He's just not comfortable right now in this offense. And some QBs they need to sit. They need to sit and watch. And right now, they're putting this dude out there in the fire, and they're hoping for something, but it ain't much. It ain't much. So, I want to go to my Packers. I ain't gonna lie, I was shocked. They
I
did
was too.
everything that I thought they couldn't
Everything you
do.
said, because no defense, what couldn't stop the run. Lo and behold, they saw the video and they said, "Watch this."
Literally, I said, I'm concerned they can't stop the run. I'm concerned they can't run the ball. I'm concerned Malik Willis can't manage the game. They did the exact opposite. I'm completely surprised. That's how you win a game with a backup QB. Good defense, running game is good. Backup quarterback doesn't put the ball in harm's way. That's exactly how you win, and they did it. And I'm proud. I'm proud of the Packers. I'm proud that they were able to overcome the fact that they don't have their starting QB and they're playing Malik Willis. They have Malik Willis starting. I am proud to the fact that Josh Jacobs was able to get it going. 32 rushing attempts. I haven't seen that many rushing attempts from a Packers running back since ever. So that's why we paid Josh Jacobs all that money, because we wanted to give him the ball that many times, and we wanted to really rely on him, because Aaron Jones, at this stage of his career, he's getting up there in age, and he's been getting injured a bunch. We weren't going to give him the ball that much. I was very, very impressed. I'm very happy and satisfied with the win.
I must say,
yeah, go ahead.
Anthony Richardson. Oh
You were
boy,
thinking the same thing I was thinking. Yeah, go right ahead. I'll let you cook.
listen. I want Anthony Richardson to succeed as a QB in the National Football League, but I wonder why people are surprised at his inefficient play, for lack of a better term. Did y'all watch any film of him at Florida? Like, the man could make a play. He could make plays, but like when you need him to just be like, okay, just throw this corner, you was like, ooh, I don't know, that ain't look too good. And his tendencies show like he's not he's a playmaker. He's not a I don't want to sound like mean, but like he's not that good of a quarterback. Let's just be honest. He's not that good of a quarterback. He's great for fantasy, and even he had a bad fantasy week this week. I mean, when you contain him and tell him you're gonna have to make some throws from this pocket, that's what happens. The Packers showed that. And yeah, the Colts offense just looked stagnant. It was just bad. It was bad. Packers did a great job containing that explosive offense. You got hey, once you tell Anthony Richardson, you better make a play. You gonna have to play consistent football. We're not giving you 3 explosive plays for you to decide the game. You're gonna play football for all 4 quarters, and he couldn't do it.
Yeah. When you're telling Anthony Richardson, hey, you got to throw between the numbers. We're not going to let you throw over our head 40 plus yards to the end zone. It's going to be a hard day for him, because that's just not what he's good at. He's not a pocket passer. He's not a guy that can throw with anticipation consistently enough. He's very inaccurate. He is year one Jalen Hurts, but he might be worse than Jalen Hurts year one. It's just that bad. He gave me year one Justin Fields vibes. Like, he was very inaccurate. He couldn't push the ball down the field. He was having trouble connecting with his receivers. A lot of the stuff that I was worried about in that preseason game showed itself in this game. And that's why the Packers were able to pretty much just contain whatever the Colts offense was trying to do, minus, a couple of really, really good runs from Jonathan Taylor. It's because we faced a similar quarterback in Justin Fields. Okay, hey, he's not a good pocket passer. He's a good deep ball thrower, but in between the numbers, mid-range, short, he can't throw it consistently. All right, cool. We'll just do pretty much the same exact things we've always done, and it worked. They couldn't do much. Jonathan Taylor, he was able to get the ball rolling in the second half, but it didn't really matter because you need your quarterback to make plays, and he couldn't make the plays at the end. Simple as that. If I'm a Colts fan, I'm worried. Second year, I know he got hurt last year with the shoulder injury, but hey, you had a full off season. Accurate 49% completion percentage. What are we doing? It's only 2 weeks. It's a small sample size, but a lot of these issues cannot be corrected in one season. He's not going to all of a sudden go from 49% completion percentage to 65% completion percentage and look like a top 10 QB. That's not going to happen. So temper your expectation, Colts fans, because Anthony Richardson, in order for y'all to win, it ain't going to be from the pocket.
I mean, he's a project QB. I mean, everybody who looked at his film before he came out, we was all, oh yeah, this is a project.
Right. But he hasn't improved at all. I know he's coming back from a shoulder injury, but where's the improvement? There's no improvement. He's the same exact way he was last year, except last year he was a fantastic fantasy quarterback, and people were raving like, "Oh my God, look at all these fantasy points! Oh my God, he was throwing some of these touchdowns. Man, he got a hell of a future." Bull crap. It was a small sample size, like 5 games, and he gets injured. So we just believe, off potential that he'll get better next year. No, he didn't. And I didn't really say much regarding Anthony Richardson. I wasn't much of a believer. I watched one of his games and he was terrible to me. I didn't understand the hype. I didn't understand why he went number 4. I just don't. Do they think he's going to be Cam Newton? Do they think he's going to be MVP Jalen Hurts that 1 year? I don't see
Cam Newton on the Patriots.
Oh, no. Cam Newton when he went back to the Panthers. Yeah, that's how bad it was. All right, let's transition. I want to go to the Cowboys.
I knew that was
finally. Listen, I gotta ask you because you know me. I was watching the game, but I was also watching other games, so I couldn't really focus on that game.
Yeah.
What happened with your defense?
Okay, so the defense, and honestly, long story short, I'm gonna go a little in depth with it though. They just got beat straight up. It wasn't even like a scheme issue. Dudes just lined up. The Saints lined up and said, "Our dudes are better than your dudes," and they just flat out won. It wasn't like players were misreading stuff. They just got beat. Like Mike Zimmer couldn't have done anything differently. Like the players just didn't come to play. People was getting wild. The D tackles was getting wild. They was getting pushed all over the freaking field. They was getting blocked up. Jordan Phillips getting blocked 5 yards up the field by Cesar Ruiz. It was just bad. The defense just flat out got bullied. They wasn't doing anything really. They weren't doing anything like you usually from these Shanahan coaches. You see all this trickery. It was a lot of play action and motion, but this stuff was very guardable. But the players just didn't show up. It was just players getting beat. I don't know how you let Rashid Shaheed. I know he's fast, but we're in too high, which is supposed to be to prevent them type of plays, and you just let Rashid Shaheed just split right through it. Are you kidding me? That's a player problem. So it's just I know when watching the game, I was like, dang, Mike Zimmer might be a fraud. But after the film came out, I was like, oh no, the players are the frauds. Michael getting on the podcast next day saying, oh, the effort wasn't there. Where was it? It's the first home game of the season. Like, did y'all think the Saints sucked or something? Like, I'm confused, man. I'm sick and tired of these every single time, man. Every single time we play one of these Shanahan tree dudes, The same thing happens. And I don't think it's a scheme issue at this point. I just think the players, I just think they just soft. And then Overshown had a phenomenal week last week. He plays like 13 snaps. What the heck was that all about? And then the offense, let me tell you something. People want to blame Dak Prescott and all of that. Listen, let me tell you something. Dak Prescott, they scored 4 consecutive drives, I believe. I think like 4 out of the first 6 drives they scored. You score 4 out of the 6 drives, you should be in the game. Period. The Saints did not punt until the 4th quarter. It was literally just like the Packers game, literally the exact same way. Dak didn't throw, and then he threw a pick because Jalen Brooks in the mid. I don't know how he fell. He just slipped. Ball sailed right to the defender. Oh dang! I mean, come on now. That was embarrassing, man. Honestly, I stopped watching the game after halftime. I said, I'm not about to watch this. I promise you. I said, I'm going to go watch Red Zone instead. At least I can get some fantasy excitement instead of having to watch this foolishness. Alvin Kamara did whatever he wanted to out there, catching passes, running the ball, barely getting touched. I mean, dog.
4 touchdowns.
Yeah, Mike McCarthy. Let me tell you something, Mike. I think I've seen enough. I think I've seen enough from Mike. The scheme, there is no scheme. I know it's supposed to be a West Coast offense, but the way he calling plays is like he's playing Madden. I mean, seriously, there doesn't seem to be a principle with this offense. It's like get the ball to CD, and if that fails, figure it out, Dak. I mean, what? Where's this? Like, where is the scheme? Where is the concepts? It just seems like he's just calling plays out there. We can't run the ball. And then Jerry Jones getting on the radio. Well, I don't think the running backs is the problem. Oh my goodness, Jerry. Listen, at this point, I'm ready to just blow this whole thing up because it's gonna be the same crap. I don't even want to make the playoffs. I'm gonna be honest. I don't even want to make the playoffs because it's just gonna be the same thing. Gonna get put out by one of them Shanahan tree dudes in embarrassing fashion. I'm kind of over it at this point because there's nothing going to change. And even if they do fire Mike McCarthy, Jerry Jones ain't going to call one of them Shanahan tree dude. He ain't going to call Ben Johnson. He going to get some old dude, and then they try to sell us that he probably an old coach, old offensive coordinator back in the day that won a Super Bowl, so we could be like, hey, he won a Super Bowl, man. F out of here. I'm not trying to hear it. Cal, that was embarrassing, man. That might be worse than the Green Bay game because at least you could be like, okay, we've seen something similar to this. We should be prepared. Home game and nope. So that's why I'm at with it, man. And Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb can only do so much. We had no Jake Ferguson, Brandon Cooks. I mean, he's cool. As a wide receiver 3, he's not a wide receiver 2 at this stage in his career. He shouldn't have to be a wide receiver 2 at this stage of his career. Jerry, hey, they better figure something out. I'll tell you that much.
Wow, a lot was said. A lot to unpack on that. It's funny you mentioned Mike McCarthy because I tried to warn you. Everybody warned, especially Packers fans. We warned you Cowboy fans about Mike McCarthy. There was a reason why Aaron Rodgers couldn't wait for Mike McCarthy to leave Green Bay because his offensive philosophy is outdated. We knew this. And it's just funny how you get rid of Kellen Moore, now Mike McCarthy calling plays, and you still have a lot of problems on offense. It's such a beautiful thing, but I'm gonna take my hater aside. I'm gonna be objective about this. I'm gonna talk about the Saints real quick. So,
the Saints. You listen. I'm sorry to cut you off, but the Saints.
Ahead.
I'm not trying to say the Saints. Then the Saints play great, and honestly, Clint Kubiak was a great hire for them. really making the game so much easier for Derek Carr. Derek Carr only threw 19 passes, I believe. Actually, no, it was actually less than that, I believe. Derek Carr, he didn't have to do that much. He really didn't have to do much that game. He played really efficiently. Then it put the ball in harm's way. He did throw an interception late in the game, but cares. Game was over by then. Yeah, man. Shout out, man. The Ken Kubiak, man. Get you a Shanahan tree, coach. I'm telling you, it's going. The return on investment is very high.
Very high. They are the surprise team of the NFL right now.
Yeah.
We did our predictions on the Saints. I wasn't very high on the Saints.
Either.
You know, it's crazy because last year I thought that the Saints would be somewhat like this team.
I think
A
I
great,
did as well.
a great offensive line, a really, really good defense. This is what I thought the Saints could potentially be. And now you bring in a new OC, and look at that. The Saints are back to being the Saints. I'm like, damn, is this the Drew Brees Saints? Are we going back to the early 2010 Saints? That's how good they were. I'm like, man, Alvin Kamara, he's back to being the 2016, 2017 version. They were just clicking on all cylinders. They're just vertical with Rashid Shaheed. Chris Olave, he didn't really go off too much this game.
Made some timely catches though. Very timely catches.
He did. Yeah. Man,
they just
I was
ran all
impressed.
over us. Yeah, man. Salute to the
I was
Saints,
impressed.
man. The defense, their defense, they said, hey, listen, we're gonna make you try to run this ball. We're gonna drop back these. You're gonna have to run this ball on us. We just couldn't do it. Shout out
That
Demario
pick.
Davis, man. He's a heck of a freaking linebacker, man. He
Oh,
was
yeah.
reading the run game all night, all day.
The receiver that slipped for the
Jalen Brooks.
Cowboys. And
Then
it made
he missed a block too. That Brandon Cooks, it was a jet sweep or something like that. Brandon Cooks would have scored, and he just let Alontae Taylor just go right by him. I'm like, oh my goodness. And Tom Brady was getting on him. He said if I was that, I'm not going to him for the rest of the game. And honestly, I don't blame him. Because we down so many points, we can't afford to make mistakes like this. And this is what you do. You slipping in the middle of the route. I put my trust in you. Oh no. Tom Brady probably would have told him to sit him down.
Yep, you can't do that in this game, in this magnitude. When you're trying to come back, you have to be clicking on all cylinders. And the rookie made a huge mistake and cost Dak and cost the offense another drive. So just an ugly game for the Cowboys. That's just all I can really say. It's just an ugly game for the Cowboys.
And you know what's funny? Well, not funny. It's crazy. This isn't even like a situation last year where like we played bad against the Cardinals. You could be like, oh, just burn the game tape, just throw it away. Nah, this is real tape. This is real tape right here. Because one time you could be like, okay, two times it's like three multiple times. It's a problem. It is a problem. You gotta really look at this tape. Like, what the heck happened, guys? We can't just say, oh, it's just one of those games. No, it's always one of these games. We got to figure out the problem here.
Got to go back to the drawing board.
Got to do something.
Yeah. Well, let's transition. I don't want to have you all.
One last thing about this. You know what the sad part is?
Oh, okay.
We have more Shanahan tree dudes coming up.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
We gotta play the freaking Lions.
Ooh.
We gotta play the Texans.
Ooh.
We gotta play the 49ers.
Damn.
Yeah.
Good luck with that.
Exactly.
Hey, I want to go to the Chiefs versus Bengals game.
Oof.
You know, there's a certain receiver that I called out in the past podcast. And then
receiver, Jamar.
And then this game, what does he do? Let me break it down for you because I saw the all 22.
We need to break down.
Here's the thing. The Chiefs did a phenomenal job containing Jamar Chase. They were doubling him. And when they were singling him, they had Trent McDuffie, and he was just locked down,
Trent was, man, what?
locking his ass down. Oh my God! Let me tell you something, Jamar. I'm not gonna just gloat about what I said, like, oh, I said a hot take, and I'm right. I'm not gonna do all that. What I will say is they need T Higgins back desperately because Jamar Chase, he's on an island by himself, and the defense is just keying in on him. They're doubling him. They're making sure that he's out of the picture, out of the game. And if you have an elite lockdown corner, shutdown corner, they're gonna have him traveling with him, and it's gonna be a long night for him. And that's why he can't really get his game off. So they really, really need T Higgins back. T Higgins, if you're hearing this, I doubt you are. But dude, you need to get back like right now because this offense is pretty mediocre. They should have won the game, honestly,
Yeah,
if that freaking DB didn't miss time the jump. Like, you have to allow the receiver the ability to make a play. Don't let them. Obviously, you don't want them to catch the ball, but you have to make it to where they're able to be in a position where they're capable of making a play. And that's the problem. And see, Mahomes, the Chiefs, they keep getting away with it. Like, they keep getting bailed out by some of the dumb mistakes of these teams, which is why I always bring up black magic. This is the same stuff that the Patriots were doing. They just transfer it to the Chiefs for whatever reason. I don't know why they did that. Why would you do that? Why would you do that, Tom Brady? Why would you do that, Patriots? Why would you create another headache to the NFL, to us fans? I like Patrick Mahomes. He's a very entertaining quarterback. But damn, it's just like Lamar Jackson and the Ravens, they couldn't take him down. The Bengals, Joe Burrow, they couldn't take him down. Both of their arch nemesis. The Bills last year had the chance to take him down. They were in the game, and they couldn't do it. It's like, who is going to take them down? Every
our, our
year,
our best hope is the Texans.
man, I guess so. I guess so. Because right now, they're unstoppable. They are inevitable. They're like Thanos. Nobody can stop them. They have the Infinity Stones. Travis Kelce wasn't getting his game off at all. He hasn't been getting his game off the first 2 weeks, and they're
I
still
want to say
winning.
he has 35 total yards these two games.
Oh, my God. And they're still finding ways to win. Now Isaiah Pacheco is out. Guess what? They bring in Kareem Hunt. He knows the offense. He's familiar with the system. It's going to be the same as always. They're going to find a way to win. The defense is good. They just know how to play winning football. And it's pretty annoying because Patrick Mahomes had 150 yards passing, and you still
And he
can't
turned the
beat them.
ball over.
He threw the ball 2 times, and you still can't beat him. The only team that I know could do it is my Packers, by the way. We did it last year, but I digress. They can't do, like, what is wrong with these teams? Y'all are supposed to be the elite of the elite, and you can't beat the Chiefs when their offense isn't even good. Travis Kelce is being contained. In the past, when Travis Kelce is always getting his game off, and they're unstoppable. But now he can't even get his game off, and they're still unstoppable. It's like, damn, who's going to stop them? And it better not be the 49ers. I swear to God, it better not be the 49ers.
The way
I
the
will
49ers look this past week, I wouldn't bet on that.
I will legitimately rather see the Kansas City Chiefs win 7 straight Super Bowls than the 49ers win one.
Mm,
That's how much I
that's
don't like
real
the
hate.
49ers. They're a op. Like, they have been standing in my team's way for the past, what is it? It's going on like 5-6 years now. I'm tired of the 49ers. Matter of fact, I can go all the way back to the Kaepernick days. I'm tired of the 49ers, man. They always get my team, bro. Like they're I wouldn't say op number one, but they're in the top three. They pissing me off, and I would rather see the Chiefs win 7 straight than see the 49ers win one.
I will say this about the Bengals in that Chiefs game. The Bengals, Joe Burrow, he played out. He played pretty well.
He did.
He played pretty well. And thing is though, you can't run the ball.
Nope.
Had whole team had 3.4 yards per carry. That's not winning football right there, especially against the Chiefs. And Jamar Chase, 35 yards. I mean,
where you at, Jamar? You want more money than
Mike
Justin Jefferson?
Mike Gesicki was your leading receiver. That's not ideal. Jermaine Burton had one catch, that one deep ball, and that's pretty much it for the entire game. Yeah, man, it was just rough. A lot of nickel and diming up the field. It was just a lot of short yardage. But actually, no, average 7.2 average play. That's not bad. That's not bad. But man, I will say Jamar Chase. Aside from you not having a really good game by your standards, you cannot in that spot. You have to keep your cool, man. I mean, seriously. Yes, I know Trent McDuffie probably should have been called for a penalty for unnecessary roughness or unsportsmanlike conduct after the play. But you got to chill. Like, you in the ref's face. Like, what did you think was going to happen? And like, you just got to chill. I know you probably frustrated. You sat out training camp trying to get a deal done. You still ain't get the deal done, so you playing. Probably really don't want to play, but you don't want to miss game checks and the fines pile up. But you got to chill. You on the field now. You got to leave out of the stuff at home. Seriously. Because in that moment, that would have been a big win for the momentum of the season. And then once that happened, I believe Joe Burrow fumbled either the next drive or shortly after, something like that. So you got to keep it cool in these situations, man. I know you probably frustrated enough, but dog, you probably don't like the Chiefs very much. They beat y'all on the way to the Super Bowl, but you got to relax. You got to chill because man, that was just bad. Put your team way behind.
They should have won. They lost that.
Yeah.
They had the game in their hands, and they coughed it up. I will say that I'm very confident in the Bengals. They'll bounce back from this. I mean, they have the Commanders next week, so I mean, how hard is that going to be?
If Jamar Chase don't put up numbers against the Commanders, then something is seriously wrong.
Yeah. Hey, Jamar, if you're watching this, I doubt you are, but if you're watching this, just remember what Janky Rondo said. Remember what he said to you in that game. Remember y'all playing the game, and he was talking that ish about his Commanders. Remember that. Be motivated. Don't worry, I'm not playing Jamar Chase in fantasy, so that's another good thing. Hey, Jamar, handle your business. I called you overrated for a reason. I need to see it more often. You're playing a terrible defense. Man, if you don't get 150 yards this game, what you doing? 150 yards and a touchdown. You better dominate this game. You better prove me wrong, prove these people wrong that you do deserve your money, that you do deserve.
I'm playing the Commanders. If I'm Jamar Chase, I'm lining up and I'm looking over at Joe Burrow and just raising my hand every snap.
Man, he better get 15 targets that game.
It should be a slaughter against that defense.
Absolutely.
Whew.
Absolutely.
They had Malik Neighbors looking like Odell out there. Prime Odell.
Yeah. He should go off that game. He should have a bounce back game because right now these first 2 weeks are just pathetic. Like, come on, because Gonzo got you, and Trent McDuffie, 2 really really good corners. When are you gonna get your game off on a good corner? Like, come on, bro. Like, I'm waiting.
Even DK had 150 something against the Pats.
Like, damn, bro. Like,
JSN got his game off too. What's the excuses?
I think he did. He got Marlon Humphreys one time, but that was a minute ago. Like, bro, like you going up against these good corners. You supposed to be top 5. Prove that you top 5. I seen AJ Brown get his work in. I see him cook some good corners. Why can't you? Why can't you get your yards? Why can't you get some touchdowns against some of the good corners? Damn. He just getting shut down. It's so frustrating, bro, because he came. I remember coming out of the draft, we were looking at him like, oh my God, he's going to be the next
he was
one.
generational.
He was going to be that next generational wide receiver that we're going to remember for a long time. And he's really good, but he's not at that next tier. He's not at the elite tier yet. He's not with the Jettas. He's not with the Tyreek. He's not with the CD. He's not at that tier yet. He's still a level below. There's just something missing.
And people, listen, I know you may think we overstating his hype coming out of LSU. People were saying was he the best wide receiver prospect ever. Ever.
He was that good. He was that dominant in college. He was that.
Y'all don't remember his rookie as a freshman? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, he was a dog.
Second
year, he was second year, he was the best receiver.
What he had? How many yards did he have that second year?
Like 1,700.
Yeah.
Dude was unstoppable. That championship game against Clemson. What? AJ Terrell.
Oh my goodness.
You're a baby. You're a little boy. Cooked them every play.
Trayvon Diggs.
You're a baby. Cooked you on every play. Like, come on, bro. He was so good, and he's still really good.
Mm-hmm.
It's just against the elite corners, against the really good corners, he just seems to not get his game off, and it just frustrates me because I know he could be better than this. All right, let's see what we got here. Let's see what we got. What are the games? What are the notable games? I guess we could talk about. Okay. Eagles versus Falcons. We gotta talk about this game.
Mm-hmm.
We gotta talk about this.
I think I should kick this one off.
Go right ahead.
You know, every time I be trying to pick the Eagles to win, they always lose. But let me tell you something. We tried to warn you. The Cowboys fans tried to warn you. I think even some Chargers fans tried to warn y'all about Kellen Moore. When the game gets tight and stuff starts working, Kellen Moore will deviate from what's working, and you will be sitting there like, what in the world are you doing? It's 3rd and 3. Saquon is averaging about 5 yards a carry the whole drive. Actually, he's probably averaging 7 yards a carry that drive. Let's go. Let's do a bootleg. Well, not even a bootleg. Let's just throw a quick little out route to Saquon in the flat. Let's just throw a flat to Saquon on 3rd and 3. Run the ball. Like, what are we doing here? That was just, man, the Eagles look, that offense, listen, Jalen Hurts had to do a lot of backpacking the whole game because dudes wasn't getting open. He was taking off and running. It was just like, oh my goodness. It was just bad. The decision making, going forward on 4th and 4 early in the first quarter, like, I wouldn't have done that personally. But hey, it is what it is with y'all. Nick Sirianni, what exactly do you do as a coach? You know, post game, I'm hearing from the players that the coaches said nothing after a loss like that at home, and Jalen Hurts had to stand up and speak. What the heck was that all about? I'm not sure what Nick Sirianni does besides annoy literally every other fan base in the entire NFL.
He's a cheerleader. He's a troll.
He's something, daggone it, because he no coach. I'll tell you that much. But yeah, man, the Falcons, it was looking bad for them. But hey, under all circumstances, Kirk Cousins came through in the clutch on Monday night primetime. Are you kidding me?
I doubted him.
He said 70 seconds is all I need.
I doubted him.
That's all I need. He drove up that field in like 5 plays. I said, oh my God. Round of applause to Kirk, man. We believe in you, man. Early in the first quarter, they was calling for Michael Penix to play. And then Kirk said, oh, he must have looked at Twitter at half or something. He was like, hold on. I mean,
hey, Brian,
I'm getting paid all. I'm the one getting paid all this money.
Hey, let me tell you something. the 2 minute defense for the Eagles was so bad. Just watch some of Kirk Cousins' throws. He was late on almost every throw, but it didn't
It was
matter.
wide open. Everything was
They
wide
were
open.
wide open. Darnell Mooney was wide open. Like it did
Mm-hmm.
not matter. I'm like, he looked like he a little late on some of these throws, but he was open. Like, what are they doing? What are the safeties doing? What are the corners doing on these plays? And he was just getting whatever he wants.
Yeah. And it wasn't even like he was checking, like he was getting chunk plays. And
It's
I'm
like
like,
30
okay,
seconds.
Vic Fangio, you are notoriously known for running too high. Why are you running zone when they need to get down the field? And not only you running like the softest zone ever. And it's just ridiculous. They wasn't going to run the ball. They weren't going to run the ball. They had one timeout. They weren't going to run the ball. So why not just stay in that too high? That was interesting to me. And Darius Slay, oh goodness.
Oh, he got cooked. I think they said that
Drake
was an option
London
route.
had that boy in the dust.
Yeah.
I mean, good grief. And then you talking about after the game, good route. Man, if I was the Eagles fan, I'd be so heated. Then he gonna get on Twitter and say, "Oh, that's on me."
If I was at the game, I would have threw a beer at him. I'm like, what you mean good route? Cover better.
Good route is insane. Yeah, I just gave up the game when the touchdown. Good route though.
That's what? that's like when somebody get their ankles broke and they say, man, that was a good move. Like, he just embarrassed you. What you mean good move? Hell nah.
And then oh man, and then Jalen Hurts, that last drive just threw it right to Jesse Bates. And it's just like you have to know that an all-pro safety is lurking back there. Let's say Devonta Smith, he had a little step on AJ Terrell, but you didn't see Jesse Bates literally cheating, ready to make a play on the ball. That's my thing with Hurts. Sometimes Hurts looks good, and sometimes it's like, whoa.
Carson Wentz.
Something, man, because I'm just like, Jalen Hurts, man, good grief, boy. Some of the decision making is just bad.
Yeah,
it's just man.
This
looks like the Eagles from this. That looked like the Eagles from last year. I'm not gonna lie. And that stuff was going right. They just somehow messed it up. And then that reminded me exactly of the Seattle game last year, where Drew Lock came in, walked in, they trapped and took over their trap. On prime time, the exact same fashion.
That was hilarious.
So, hey, man, the Eagles, they listen. I told y'all, I said, I don't know if I said it on the podcast, but I know I said it in the group chat. I said, if your takeaway from that Packers and Eagles game was that the Eagles were really like that, I said, you watched a completely different game than I did. Because that defense was atrocious.
Burn the tape.
Bijan was getting everything he wanted and some. That secondary was getting torched. Quinyon Mitchell was getting whooped, man. He was missing tackles. Darnell Mooney was making him looking a little silly out there. And I was like, dang. Drake London had 2 touchdowns. No, he only had one. He had 1 touchdown. Well, did he have 2? I can't remember.
Let me tell you something. I knew that Brazil game was a bunch of bullshit. One because the field was just so awful that everybody was slipping, so their footing was all off. You know, people's minds were on so many different things. I mean, you in a very toxic environment. I bet your mind is going to be a little off. That game, I knew it was some bullshit. So when I saw this game, I was like, "Yep, I suspected it." And then after what the Packers did against the Colts, I'm like, that game was. It seems like it might be an anomaly because some of the stuff happening in that game was just very reckless. It felt like I was watching like a high school game, just a bunch of mistakes, a bunch of BS happening on the field, a bunch of flags being thrown. I'm like, hell nah, this is just not normal. And for them to just wet the bed on Monday night like that. It's just hilarious, but it's also embarrassing. I thought Kirk Cousins. I looked at Kirk Cousins. I was like, it's gonna be the Jimmy G meme. Like I thought it was gonna be one of them deals where he's not gonna be able to go down the field and score. I thought he was gonna make another mistake because normally that's what Kirk Cousins does on prime time on Monday night. He's the one that loses the game, not win it, and he won the game. And the Eagles, Jalen Hurts, he didn't even have to. Why did he take a chance like that to throw to Devontae Smith? Because
Yeah,
you
he
still had
they just
time.
needed to get in field goal range.
It was like over 20 seconds left. Why are you taking a chance like that? It's just boneheaded mistakes. They just look so disorganized, and they're just gonna have to live with it. You brought in Kellen Moore. You have the head coach. You should have fired the head coach. I don't know why you kept him. The players don't really like him that much. Why keep him? There's reports about the head coach and Jalen Hurts not getting along. Why keep him? You know, Howie
And then
Roseman, he's getting exposed.
it's about freaking time. And I'll tell you what, and guess who they got? Guess who the Eagles got next week? The Saints.
Ooh, yeah, they do. Yeah, it's gonna be good.
Yeah.
I can't
So
wait for
good
that one.
luck with that, because if Kirk Cousins was doing that to y'all, Clint Kubiak might throw a parade.
Shit, it might be like the 49ers game last year.
Man, I'll tell
Oh,
you what,
if it is like that last year, then just call it a season.
they better hope AJ Brown ready to play, because that
Oh,
offense was atrocious without
they
him.
they need AJ Brown desperately because that passing attack was putrid, very very bad. Yeah. All right. Let's see. What we got? There's so many other
I do
games.
want to bring.
Yeah.
Actually, no, I'll say that for later. I'll say that for later.
Oh, okay. All right. So just real quick, the Jets, they beat the Titans. It was a struggle offensively, but ultimately they were able to come through
Will
at the end.
Levis
Don't
done
really.
did it again.
So yeah, Will Levis, he was awful. I want to get through this real quick, but yeah, he was pretty awful yet again. I said this beginning of the year. I never trusted Will Levis. That's why I didn't draft Calvin Ridley again. The offense is just putrid. The head coach, he's not feeling Will Levis at all. The Jets, they were able to scrape by. Not too confident in the Jets yet. Being in a one possession game with the Titans, and then you lose Jermaine Johnson. I don't know. I know it's still a work in progress. Aaron Rodgers is coming back. The offense, they're still trying to get used to things, but yeah, if I'm a Jets fan, I am cautiously optimistic, and if I'm a Titans fan, I am sinking ship. I am just go overboard, like fall, like leave the ship right now because it's not going to get any better.
Yeah, man. Yeah, the Jets. Honestly, I was kind of disappointed in their performance. Brees Hall really saved them.
Yeah,
That catch he made for a touchdown, I said, "Who? He looked like a receiver out there."
yeah,
And
yeah.
Sauce, he didn't. Man, what? He was getting cooked.
He was
Like
holding
Calvin really did that to you?
He was holding on DeAndre Hopkins at one play, but they didn't call it.
Yeah.
Mm.
Rough
Uh
game for Sauce.
yeah, it was. Real quick, Vikings versus 49ers. Vikings were able to upset the 49ers. This was one game I knew it was going to be competitive,
I
but
had a feeling. I really had an upset feeling, but I ain't want to call it.
no, I
But
didn't want to call it either. I was too chicken to not call an upset, but I knew it was going to be a competitive game. I knew that the Vikings were able to do something, and Sam Darnold, he played tremendous. He had an interception, but besides the interception, he played a really good game. Even with Justin Jefferson going down, they were able to hold on to the lead. Darnold was able to manage the game correctly, and even with some mistakes, Aaron Jones, he fumbled the ball. I already said Sam Darnold threw an interception, but they were still able to come up with the win. Salute to the Vikings. They did their thing, and thank God that they beat the 49ers. Even though they are an enemy of my Packers, I'd rather see them win than the 49ers win.
mm, yeah, man, you see what happens when you put a QB in a favorable situation. Even when they're missing guys, no Jordan Addison, they still was able to produce. And Brian Flores, he made Shanahan look silly. So you gotta give him props on that one, man. The Vikings might be much better than I thought coming into the season. They well coached team, I will say. I was only 2 weeks in, but we're seeing good stuff from them. And I'm so glad I picked Justin Jefferson at 9 and not AJ Brown.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and TJ Hawkinson, he's still coming back from injury.
Yeah,
He hasn't played yet, so they're missing him, and they're still able to win. That's just good coaching. Nothing
there
much,
you
nothing
go.
more. All right, let's go to the Ravens and Raiders. Like, man, I didn't see this coming.
Bruh,
Like, I thought the
I
Ravens.
didn't at all.
I thought this was like the easiest game to predict. I thought the Ravens had this in the bag, but every year it
You
seems
said
like the
you said
Ravens.
you said go bet double digit. You said a 10 point. Go bet the 10 point spread. You lost them
They
people
were
a
up.
lot of
They
money.
were up by 10 points, I think, entering the fourth, and they lost the lead. Like, how? They do this every year. It's always that one game where you think they should easily win, but they lose. It's just weird about the Ravens. Their offensive line, I think they have 3 new offensive linemen.
Yep.
Their passing attack is pretty mediocre at best. You only have Zay Flowers, Mark Andrews coming back from injury. You have Isaiah Likely, but he didn't get the ball much. And they can't really run the ball consistently with Derrick Henry. That's kind of weird. Their offense is still in flux. They're still trying to figure out their identity. It's really Lamar Jackson. A lot of the offense is on his shoulders. If he's not getting his game off, then they're pretty much screwed. They need to make it easier for Lamar Jackson because right now it seems like everything is difficult. He can't be Superman every game. You got to allow him to manage the game. Give him easy passing concepts, easy plays that he could just give the football to his playmakers and they make a play. It doesn't
Yes.
seem like they're doing that right now.
Yes, he's working. You got to work for every yard in that system. Cause good grief.
And then Justin Tucker missing 50 plus yards kicks.
Oh
He
yeah.
seems like he's washed up. It's a sad day.
I saw a stat. I think they said kickers are 35 and 37. Well, starting kickers. It was 30. It's really 35 and 39, but K York got cut. But as far as starting kickers, they're 35 and 37 on field goals 50 yards or longer. The only 2 misses were from Justin Tucker.
It's time to hang it up. You had a great career,
Mm.
but it's time to hang it up. I hate to say it. All right,
Justin Tucker, good dude. Mm.
Yeah. Let's see what we got. Buccaneers upset the Lions. I'm happy for the Buccaneers.
I said this was a possibility, but I saw the Bucks had a lot of dudes out, so I was against picking them. But hey, they persevered. Baker Mayfield continues to play good football, and hey, gotta give them props on that one. The Lions, they had a lot of trips to the end zone, but you gotta score, you gotta put up, you gotta get touchdowns. They couldn't do it.
I knew this was going to be a competitive game. I knew this was going to be a close game. I didn't think that the Lions were going to lose this game, but they did. Jared Goff, he didn't play particularly well. The Buccaneers were able to rattle Jared Goff. Amon-Ra wasn't really able to get his game off too much. Jameson Williams, he had a pretty solid game. Jahmyr Gibbs, he had a pretty solid game. David Montgomery, he didn't get the ball as much as he should. They weren't running the ball as much as
He
they
had
should
11
have.
carries.
He could have got a little
Wasn't
bit
really
more.
producing in those carries though.
He could have got a little bit more, but ultimately the Lions they lost, which is good by me because they're in my division. So, hey, Lions 1-1, we're 1-1. That's great. Baker Mayfield continues to impress me every single week. I just root for the best for Baker Mayfield. You know, I was a fan of him when he was in college for Oklahoma. He went number 1 overall. A bit shocked by that, but I wish nothing but the best for Baker Mayfield. He was done a bad deal with the Browns. He was pretty much almost out of a job at one point. Going to Carolina, going to the Rams. He was able to rejuvenate his career, and now he's one of the better QBs in the NFL, and he's making a lot of money for it. So I'm glad for Baker Mayfield. He's really found his own. He's really found an identity for himself. Found a team that believes in him. So Great,
Yeah.
great for him. Todd Bowles, good for him. You get to see a black coach succeed. I just wish nothing but the best for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
NFC South is very interesting right now. Very interesting.
Getting back to the
Um,
old days.
yeah, I was literally saying that yesterday too. I was like, man, NFC South, they might be going back to them Cam, Matt Ryan, Drew Brees days at this rate. I mean, shoot, that'd be good for the NFC South, the funniest fans in the freaking league. But I will say this: the Buccaneers, y'all got to find a way to run the ball efficiently. Rashad White isn't
No,
doing
he's
very
not.
good at all. Bucky Irvin is looking much better between the tackles, just running in general. But I will say something about the Lions. And this continues to be a constant theme with Dan Campbell. He always makes these bizarre decisions where I'm just leaving my head. I'm just scratching my head. I'm like I believe before the half he messed up and they wasn't able to get a field goal off. I don't know what the heck happened. I wasn't watching that game because I was watching my Cowboys get cooked. But I did see in the end of the game, Dan Campbell, I believe he elected to go for it on fourth down instead of just kicking the field goal. And I was like, let me. Oh wait, nope. I think I lost that text thread. Dang it. Well, I was complaining about it. He should have took the points and played defense, but nope. You went for it on fourth down, didn't convert, and then the Buccaneers went down and did what they did. I was super confused on that one. Oh, here's what happened. It was fourth down. They were going for. I think they were still down at this point. They could have kicked the field goal to put them in a one and literally a one position, like not even have to get a touchdown if they were to get a stop on Baker Mayfield, which they did. They did get a stop on the Buccaneers. But the fact that he went for it instead of just kicking the field goal, they had to go down and score a touchdown. And they couldn't do it. And the game ended. And it was just like, take the points. I understand being aggressive and you're home. You probably want to but like, dog, it just from a football standpoint, it doesn't make sense. And this always happens with Dan Campbell. Like his
Yeah,
game time decisions when it gets tight, it's just like, what is going on here?
I'll leave the Lions offense alone. It's a small sample size, but the past 2 weeks, that Lions offense, it's been pretty much contained for the most part. Not a whole lot of high scoring. I'm gonna leave it alone though. I don't want to jump to conclusions too early because a lot of teams around the NFL aren't scoring a whole lot of points.
Unless the
Specifically,
Saints, the Saints putting
yeah,
up all
unless
points. They
unless it's
putting
the
up enough
Saints.
points for multiple teams.
Unless it's the Saints, yeah, pretty much. So I'm not going to jump to conclusions too much. I mean, the first 2 weeks, only about 68 touchdowns were scored, which is like the lowest in the
Yeah.
past 6 years. I mean, good God, we're going back to 90s and 80s football right now. That's how bad it's getting. Shoot, we need more scoring. Um, let's go. Let's see. Giants versus Commanders. I didn't watch this game
I had a
because
feeling the Commanders was going to win, but
let me tell
I
you
wanted
something.
to go with
Yeah,
the history pick instead of just doing what I felt was going to happen.
I elected not to watch this game because it's two bad teams. It's Daniel Jones versus a rookie QB. I was like, I'm not doing this. I'm not watching this putrid offense. I'm not watching these putrid defenses. And the Commanders were able to skate by, even though they didn't score a touchdown, I believe.
Nope.
The Giants lost a game where they scored, what was it? What is it? 2, 3 touchdowns? And the other team didn't score a touchdown at all? How do you do that? How was that possible? Only the Giants would do that.
Yeah.
That's losing football. It's losing football. Nothing
Yep.
much I could really say about this. I mean, I haven't seen the tape on Jaden Daniels. I heard once he got hit and he went down, he started to throw from the pocket and actually go through his
Mm-hmm.
progressions pretty well. I
Yep.
guess when you get hit like that, It forces you to actually start playing the quarterback position correctly, and not run. I guess he learned this lesson because the first week he was just running around being a loose cannon, doing whatever he wanted to. Second week roll around, he finally got it. Finally got hit.
Took one good shot and said, "Yeah, let me chill out."
So
Also, the Giants did suffer from not having a kicker because Graham
Graham
Gano
Gano.
got hurt
Yeah, he did
today.
get hurt.
So all them extra points they missed, they couldn't really go for field goals. They was going for them on fourth down, going for 2-point conversions and not getting it. That adds up. That's a lot of points left on the field, and yeah, but still, like Malik Neighbors missed possibly a game-sealing catch on the sideline. Like literally had it, just dropped it, point blank period. So yeah, and the Commanders, they took advantage of it. Jaden Daniels continues to not put the ball in danger, but he didn't really score. He ain't scoring any touchdowns. Didn't score any touchdowns. So they did have the Commanders were able to run the ball effectively. Yep. Especially Brian Robinson Jr. He had 133 on the ground. Austin Eckler was getting active in the passing game. Also had a pretty solid day, running only 8 attempts and about 38 yards. It's about 4.6 yards, 4.8 yards per carry. Hey man, Giants defense, they couldn't shake it.
Yeah. Pretty much said. Well done. I mean, Jaden Daniels, I know it's not that hard to do, but he's been arguably the best rookie quarterback so far. It's not that hard to really do.
It's not a high bar to clear, but it's something.
Yeah, it's something. All right, let's go to real quick, probably like 30 seconds. Cardinals and Rams. The Rams, they were depleted.
What did I say last week? I said if they want to get the Rams, they want to get over. They got to get Marvin. We said they got to get Marvin Harrison Jr. involved early, and lo and behold, he had 2 touchdowns in like the first quarter, 100-something yards, 133 yards in the first quarter. That's what you got to do.
And he's on my team, and I was very, very happy. Thank you, Marvin Harrison Jr. See, this is the thing. Like, people try to paint these narratives like, oh, he's slow. He can't do this. He can't do that. Man, just give him the ball and let him cook. What did he do? He cooked. He's able to get 2 touchdowns. He almost got 3 if Kyler Murray didn't miss him. Like, damn, Kyler, you had him in the end zone.
Kyler played great though.
He was phenomenal. He was phenomenal that game. I want to go to real quick the Jaguars versus. Oh God,
the Jaguars. I called it. I literally said this was one of them upset games, and lo and behold, look what happened.
Hey, let me tell you something. First of all, I heard that I didn't see the tape, but I heard that Deshaun Watson actually looked pretty well this game.
Yeah.
But I don't want to talk about the Browns. I want to talk about the Jaguars. A lot of people had high hopes on Trevor Lawrence.
I didn't.
See, this is why I questioned so many people that had Trevor Lawrence in their top 10. Still believe Trevor Lawrence will be a really, really good to elite quarterback one day. He just doesn't have it. I watch great quarterbacks in every game. I see like one play that makes me go, wow. Like I'm literally watching the game. I'm like, wow. Like CJ Stroud, when he made that play to Nico Collins, I was like, wow. I was just screaming, wow. Trevor Lawrence, he doesn't do that. He's very vanilla, very boring, very generic. And you would think a guy that's 6'6" with an elite arm strength, you would think, oh man, this guy is going to be the next great quarterback.
A prototype QB.
Oh, this dude is built like a cyborg. Nope. Brian, I don't know if you saw the clip I sent to the group chat, but the Jaguars, this is like their first trip to the red zone. And literally, the play was designed and Brian Thomas Jr. was open in the red zone. Like they were, I think Christian Kirk, he was freeing up Brian Thomas Jr. and he did that. But Trevor Lawrence elected to look away, spin, go the other direction and go through his other progressions. I'm like, why? Like, it's a clean pocket. There's no pressure. Why did you just spin after 1 second? You didn't even let the play progress.
Let me
And he
see if I
just
can find
spun.
this play.
And then the second, I think it was either second or third down. After 1 second, the pass rush comes to his face. Right. The
Hold
pass
on.
rush comes to his
I'm
face.
gonna try to
He
put
ev-
this up
he
to the
evades
camera.
he evades the pass rusher. So I'm like, all right, let me see what you got, Trevor Lawrence. You know, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes. Well, nah,
You
we,
can't
we
see it.
can't
You
see
can't
it.
see
We
it.
can't see it. So, bro, second or third down rolls around. They're still in the same, still in the red zone, the same drive. The pass rusher comes after 1 second. He evades the pass rusher. I'm like, all right, let me see what you got, Trevor Lawrence. So I think it's the tight end that's open. And, like Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, they'll improvise. They'll figure out a way to like make an amazing throw in the red zone. Trevor Lawrence just misses the guy. I'm like, damn, like this could have been a wild throw. This could have been a highlight play, and you just can't do it. He can't hit. He can't make the plays. He can't make the plays that you want to for a $270 million man. He's getting
Mm.
paid all of this money, and he's not that guy. He's not a dude that you look to and you say, oh, yeah, he's going to be the reason we win this game. He's going to be a guy. He's going to be the best player on the football field. Every time we play a team, more times than not, he's going to be the best player on the football field. That's not him. He is not even close to the best football player on the field. He may be the fifth or sixth best football player on the field. And it just blows my mind. Like there's other moments where he's mistargeting guys, like he's inaccurate. Like there's certain throws. I'm like, damn, Trevor Lawrence. Like you could have hit the dude right there, but you didn't. I'm just like, there's something missing. There's no juice. It's really
Listen,
frustrating.
and this is why I said last year, when did Trevor Lawrence become a dude all of a sudden? I literally said that. I didn't see it. Like, this is why we got to temper expectations after these quarterbacks have one solid season. And, Benny the Butcher, he said you made his first. He made his first 10 bands. Let's applaud the brother. You do that 10 more times than you want or something. Trevor Lawrence, he made his first 10 bands that year, but we need to see it 10 more times before we start crowning you top 10. And he hasn't been showing us that. And at this point, I'm feeling like Kendrick Lamar. Why believe in you? You never gave us nothing to believe in. The Jags lied about Trevor Lawrence. They lied about Press Taylor. They lied about Urban Meyer.
They lied about Travis Etienne. Like it's just so much lies going around. So much. Oh, they thought he was going to be good. They thought he was going to be this. They thought he was going to be that. No,
They
he's
lied
not.
about Trayvon Walker.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh, I bet they feel like a
Aiden
huge
Hutchins had
mistake.
5 sacks in that Buccaneers game.
5 sacks, and they still lost, which is crazy.
Yeah, I know,
5
right?
sacks. Oh my God. They just keep missing after missing after missing. And I'm not even going to put this on Press Taylor because I think the game plan was rather effective just looking at the film because you're going against a really, really good Browns front. Like that front four is pretty good. So what do? They say, all right, we're going to get the ball out of Trevor Lawrence's hands rather quickly. And they did that. And they were able to get down the field a lot. It's just Trevor Lawrence. Like there's certain plays you have to make in order to, get a touchdown, get some momentum. And he just can't do it. Like he just doesn't have that ability. I just don't understand. Like, yeah, the offensive line isn't perfect. Yeah, the play calling isn't perfect. But dude, we drafted you because we expected that you were going to overcome some things. He can't do it. He just can't. He's not that guy, bro. He is fool's gold.
Yeah, man. For a generational prospect, they were saying the best prospect since freaking Andrew Luck. I'm not seeing it. respectfully, I'm not seeing it. I haven't seen Andrew Luck at all. And I was high on Trev coming out of Clemson. He had a really good college career, but he just can't shake it now. I don't know.
Can't overcome. Oh, because you went to Clemson. Yeah, Clemson has like 5 stars, 4 stars everywhere. You damn right he gonna look good. The offensive line of Clemson, yeah, it's one of the best. You damn right he's going to look good. But when you're going into a situation where you don't have all that stuff, where you have to build from the ground up, what are you going to do then? He's just regular. He's middle of the pack. He's Jay Cutler.
Mm.
Like, come on. He's just there. Like, there's no juice at all. Like, you have all this talent and just can't do nothing. I seen Justin Herbert go through so many coaches, and he's still a top 5 QB in my book. He's still a really, really good QB in my book. He's still a top 10 QB in my book. What about you, Trevor Lawrence? I'm still waiting. Like, it's just, oh man, it's just so frustrating, bro. It's so frustrating. Hey, all right, let's go to the final topic. I want to get to your segment. Brian, who are you saluting?
Ooh, I got a few candidates, man. I got one of them. I'm gonna say salute to Sam Darnold. I want to salute Sam Darnold. He played a good game against the 49ers. You know, he got Justin Jefferson Justin Jefferson got that crazy play against them, 97-yard TD, was very, very helpful to my fantasy cause. I want to salute Kirk Cousins for that game winning drive, man. He stepped up. They said, Kirk, you got a reputation on this primetime Monday night. You like 4-10. They was counting you out, and you ain't. They wrote you off. You ain't right back. So salute to Kirk Cousins. I want to salute to. Who should I give this last salute to? I'm gonna give this last salute to. I don't know.
Derek Carr.
If you do it against the Eagles, I'll give him the salute. Do it against the Eagles next week, I'll give you the salute. But last one, I'm gonna go. Oh yeah, salute Baker Mayfield, man. Against the odds, man. I love a good underdog story, comeback story, and not underdog, a good comeback story. Hey man, salute, man. Got it done. I didn't expect you to win that game against the Lions, respectfully, but hey, you went in there, walked in a trap, and took it over. Salute to Baker Mayfield.
Great. Well, that'll do it on this episode.
Oh, we're not doing the Thursday game?
Oh, ooh. I'm glad you called me there.
Yeah.
Right. Thursday game. Jets versus Patriots. Jets.
I'm going to go Jets too, but it's going to be very close. The Patriots have been playing very competitive football. Gerard Mayo's doing a good job so far. If you're a Patriots fan, you're not winning games, but you got to be encouraged. They are competing.
Yes, they are.
Ramondre Stevenson is looking pretty good. He's looking pretty good, you know. At this point, you know, it's still rebuild mode, still the new coaching staff. You just want to compete and show that you have some type of competence or build some type of culture and an identity. And so far, the Patriots are doing it, man. They playing teams very close.
And they're doing a good job of not rushing Drake May. They're not panicking. They're not out here like, oh, we got to save the season. Let's throw in the rookie after 2 games. Like, no, they're actually taking their time. They have a formula. They have something that they're building. They're not out here rushing anything. They understand it's not going to happen in 1 year. It's not going to happen in 10 weeks. It's not microwavable. This is oven. This is something you got to marinate. This is something you got to cook. You got to cook in the crock pot. It's going to take some time. And I appreciate that because we see what another organization is doing with their quarterback, the Panthers, and how that's worked out so far. So Good for the Patriots, but I still have the Jets win this game in a close contest. I'll probably say the Jets win by 3 points.
Yeah, something like that. I wouldn't be surprised if the Pats somehow won, got a win. To be honest, but I think the Pats are home, if I'm not mistaken, too.
They're home.
Yep. No, the Jets are home. Jets are home. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Jets.
Yeah, give me Jets by 3.
Actually,
I'll
what
take
does
the
the
3
spread
points.
say? Actually, let me look at that right quick. The spread says,
Is it 6.5?
yeah, 6. I don't think the Jets cover that.
No, I don't think they cover
Honestly,
that. I think they win by 3.
I don't know what the books are seeing. The Jets have been underperforming, and the Patriots been overperforming. So
I will bet whatever the odds are for the Patriots. I probably bet that.
I'd bet the spread plus 6.5 for the Pats. That sounds like easy money.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, that'll do it for this episode of Courtside View Podcast. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment down below, hit the notification bell, follow the socials as well. And we will see you all on the next episode of the Courtside View Podcast. Thank you guys for watching, and peace.
Salute.
All right.